Fantastic. So for some time, we have been in the factory era of AI, where some large companies would produce these products in large quantities, and we would just consume them. But very soon, thanks to edge AI and small models and things running on the edge, things running on your own machines, we're shifting to the Bazaar era. So a lot of our work at MIT is about thinking about when we'll have billions, maybe trillions of AI agents on the open web. What would the internet of AI agents would look like? And to motivate that, imagine a scenario where Sarah in Texas, in rural Texas, has a health condition. She goes to her Dr. John and says, hey, I have chest pain, I have comorbidity, and she's just not getting a good answer from her doctors. And Dr. John can go on the open hive, on the open web, and say, hey, listen, for $100, can somebody solve the problem for Sarah? And when that happens, billions of agents all over the world wake up. And they say, hey, maybe I can take a piece of this $100, and they can look at the data, if it's related to corresponding health condition, start training models, also create a coalition, start collaborating with each other, and eventually maybe a handful of them can solve the problem for Dr. John. And those, let's say about 10 of them solve together, those 10 get paid out from that $100, and everybody else kind of disappears. And then eventually Dr. John gets an Expedia-like answer of how he could help Sarah, the patient. And so what's happening here is it's not like agents for e-commerce, right? This is commerce that's possible because of AI agents. And Dr. John is not accessing some kind of an amazing health model, AI model out there, but he's tapping into a network of intelligence. And that network is available as a marketplace, right? This is what we mean by the Internet of AI agents and the commerce for agents. So again, we are kind of in the mainframe era of AI, kind of a factory era of AI, but very quickly we're shifting to the PC era. Some companies are already using agents within trusted boundaries, the intranet of agents, but very soon we'll shift to the internet of agents, where agents are collaborating and negotiating with other agents that are well outside the trusted boundaries. But that's still just for geeks, how we can connect. That's like the internet. To go from the internet to the World Wide Web, we needed HTML and browsers and URLs and all the good stuff. And Project Nanda, that originally started at MIT, stands for Networked AI Agents in Decentralized Architecture, right? A mouthful. Nanda for short means Sanskrit, means joy in Sanskrit, but also name of my sister. All right. So what does it mean to have billions of agents out there? And if you take this example I showed you of commerce that agents will conduct, I think the closest analogy I can imagine is high-speed trading, high-frequency trading. And the reason why high-frequency trading works is we have a bunch of things, right? We have, there is a registry, there is, every merchant, every stock, is pre-qualified. There is somewhat price transparency in how that works. There is a way to deal with fraud detection and so on. And all these things also had to be built for the Internet of AI agents, right? So this is a massive infrastructure that's going to come get built for the billions of agents that are out there. So anybody here like an OpenClaw fan here, right? But OpenClaw is great, but it's only inbound. It only behaves as a tool. I cannot call your OpenClaw agent. It's like having a telephone that can only make calls outside, but can never receive calls, right? So it's a one-way agent, not a bidirectional agent. So the question is, who's going to build this infrastructure? But a more problematic way to think about this is whoever builds this infrastructure will also own it. So the question for us is, will we end up in a walled gardens of this Internet of AI agents, or will we get an open and vibrant and neutral and safe and scalable web for AI agents? So that's the mission for us, for Nanda. And we think that there are 4 main bottlenecks. And if you can solve those 4 bottlenecks, there's a chance we can keep the agentic web as open as today's internet, as opposed to how we see on the mobile phones like iOS and Android or Facebook and Twitter, all the walled gardens. So the 4 bottlenecks are, a ICANN DNS-like structure. Second is passports and certification. Third is obvious, which is interoperability. And fourth is attestation. So I'll go through this very quickly. And our group at MIT has been working in this space for last 11 or 12 years. So we've been on this journey of thinking about what happens after AlexNet when we have billions of individual AI systems that are interacting with each other. And now, going forward, we think there are 3 main research problems we need to solve. Originally starting at MIT, but now we have many collaborators. The first one, as I said, is like the DNS for agents. The second is knowledge pricing. We think it's very critical that data, models, inference, compute, all needs to be priced. Just the way when you hire a candidate, we can figure out their salary. And the same way, we have to do knowledge pricing. It's a very beautiful mathematical problem. Come talk to us. And the other problem is co-learning. The last 14 years have been a fantastic progress in machine learning, but going forward, we think it's all about machine co-learning, about how 2 agents learn from each other. And when you think about co-learning, it's not just about, agents buying services and transacting, but they're going to form coalitions, they're going to negotiate, they're going to compete, for resources, and they have to achieve decisions. And there'll be some alliances, there'll be some betrayal. It'll be like the Game of Thrones among agents. So the other thing we need to do is we need to have a starting point. For the web, there was something called Yahoo, those of us as old as me. And Yahoo kind of created a safe space to explore what the web is. And we need something similar to do that. So we created something called Nanda Town. So go check out Nanda Town off of MIT website. So it's kind of a sandbox that allows anybody to bring enterprise agents, payments, memory. If you're working on any of these spaces, you can come to Nanda Town and explore this extremely heterogeneous system. And you can have some ethical hackers there and so on as well. It's moving very, very quickly. So I encourage you to explore Nanda Town. And then the research, of course, works in multiple directions. Agentic devices, this knowledge pricing, co-learning, new forms of Asian marketplaces, and so on. And of course, this is happening under a very large tent that involves large companies and startups and governments and so on. And more recently, we have this series of hackathons called Nanda Hack that are sponsored by different organizations. So just go to nandahack.media.mit.edu to explore it. Now, when we talk about billions of agents, we should be thinking about at nation scales. So what's happening now is, thanks to a lot of work at Nanda Town, we're able to work with very large ecosystems. So for example, in India, we launched something called Doot, which means messenger, and 1.5 billion agents that are not owned by, there's no corporate capture, and that run on the identity and payment rails they already have. City of Boston is also launching with us, a Boston agent initiative, and I invite you to come and talk to us about how the civic agents are evolving as well. And what you'll quickly realize is that today we are thinking about agents for X, agents for coding, agents for browsing, agents for debugging, agents for shopping, and so on. But we need to flip that and start thinking about services for agents, X for agents, infrastructure for agents, compute for agents, insurance for agent, healthcare for agents, education for agents. Everything that we do in the society needs to be done for agents, right? So I think the open agentic commerce is going to emerge because intelligence will be discovered, intelligence will be priced, and intelligence will be coordinated at scale. So come join us at nanda.mit.edu. Thank you.